All right, hey guys, Jason here. Beautiful day here. We are in Savannah. I don't remember. Is this Chatham? I think this is Chatham Parkway. I think is a Toyota dealer we are at. It's right across from Vaden, a Ram dealer over there that I go to regularly. And so we're making videos here. Yes, I got my finger taped. I actually broke the finger tip yesterday, but look at that. Talk about doing it yourself rather than go pay like $20,000 at the hospital. All I did instead was I put a gear tie on there and duct taped it. Look at that. We solved it, fixed it. So hopefully that'll heal up pretty quick here for us. But we are looking at the pros and cons series of the Tundra. We got a few Tundras here. Again, you're gonna see my white taped finger here a little bit, but we've got some Tundras up here, and we're gonna dive into the pros and the cons of this truck. Now remember, this series I do, this pros and cons series, it is my personal opinion. Things that bother me and things that I like about each specific truck. Does not mean they are good, does not mean they are bad, does not mean any of that. It's more of a kind of for fun thing on things that I notice that I do and don't like on them. So we're gonna dive into it. First one, starting off on it, look at here on this Tundra. Nice to see lower tie downs in it. Okay, they do this well. I like how Tundra does the tie downs in the back end. Now, they're not all super low. You can see we're a little higher up in the back end, but at least the front ones are low enough. Not all the way down, but they're low enough that they work, and I like how they're kind of on a reinforced corner point there. You can see how they do that. So I think they do a good job there, but they also still, Toyota uses the exposed frame bolts. See those bolts in there? Hang on, I gotta zoom with my other hand here. Again, we got a bad finger. But see that frame bolt right there? You can take those frame bolts and you can do like they do. Well, here, I'll bet we can see it right here in the back of this TRD Pro. Here's a Tacoma TRD Pro. Man, such a good looking truck. The ISO seats kill it, so does the hybrid. Just bums me out that they go ahead and make that mandatory. But see here, see those D-rings right here that you see right down here? This D-ring style? You can put those right on those frame bolts too. See the frame bolts? They go on there. I did that in my 22 TRD off-road Tacoma, and you can do that in the Tundra. So you can still, for like 34 bucks, add two more, or you can put two lower tie downs right at where that frame bolt is right there. You can stick them right there and it'll work. So so at least you do have that very good option to be able to do that in this truck. So the bed, I think they do a good job. They did it well. Where's our I do not see in this one, which is probably a base, but let's look here. I want to show you how they do the bed lights. Bed lights are more central. See how they're more in the middle like that? That's kind of cool that they do that way. So it's a nice feature. You get those in there. You get the power in here, and the power's up high where you should be. We like the setup in the bed on how they do the Tundra beds. Lights on both sides. Like I said, they do a fantastic job on here. Obviously, this one's pretty waterproof because it's holding quite a bit of water. So they do a good job. Okay, we're happy with the bed. That's a huge win for what Toyota has done here on that. Now, they offer great options for cab configurations, okay, or bed lengths in here. You can get it with the 5.5 foot, the 6.5 foot, and the 8 foot bed. That is a beautiful thing in a full-size truck that you can get all three. You can even get a crew cab, full crew cab, 8 foot bed Tundra. However, you really can't get one, which puts it in the negative side in the cons department, because yes, they make like 3 of them a year and nobody can ever find one, but they do offer it. Other negative to it, big negative is that in a con is you cannot custom order a Toyota. Toyota does not let you do that. They don't even let the dealership order trucks. You get what allocation is giving you. That's the choice. Toyota makes the choice, or here, Southeast Toyota Distributors makes the choice on what each dealer gets, and they never give us an 8 foot bed one. Nobody ever around here ever gets an 8 foot bed. So that is definitely an upsetting factor there. Another con to it is that they do not offer a bench seat option. Like here, this is a standard. What are we at here? Let's look at a window sticker, but this is probably our standard SR5, I'm assuming here. Let's see, what do we got? It's sideways up here, but yes, the SR5 two-wheel drive coming in at 53 grand. Again, every dealer in Savannah is going to have these stupid addendums. I told you it's not, you know, we're not at Vaden, but you see this. This is a big city kind of thing, or high money area thing, and all of them around here do it. But $53,000. I don't care about this. I would get this cut out, or I won't buy from here. But 53 grand. And you can see this one's on hold. It's got a hold sticker on it. But even on the SR5, you do not get an option of a bench seat in any of these trims. They are all going to be that center console setup on there. Good for them because it saves them a lot of money in one configuration. Bad for those of us that like the bench seat and being able to fit 6 people in a full-size truck with seat belts. Okay, Ford, Chevy, and Ram all offer a bench seat configuration. Toyota is the only full-size that does not offer one in there, one bit. So that's a huge kind of a bummer. Also, while we're at it and we look at one, it doesn't have super tinted windows because we don't have the keys today. But they do all have a transmission hump and a back end. Okay, that transmission hump that's down there on the floor on there, which I'm hoping maybe you can see in there, but that transmission hump, it's not a flat 4. That is definitely a bummer. That is a bummer in a full-size truck. Most of them today are getting to flat floors. This one does not have it back there. You do have a significant transmission hump back there you have to deal with, which is kind of upsetting. They do have, however, some of the best storage underneath the rear seat of any full-size truck. I've done so many reviews on these. I'll try and inset a couple of those pictures if I remember. If I don't get mad at me, but I will try to inset some of those in there to show you on there. Now, as far as the engine option, I do like the fact that they offer you 2 choices. You get the hybrid or the non-hybrid. Okay, that is a nice feature. For those that want the hybrid, they want that extra fuel mileage, they want that stuff in there, it gives them that option with the iForce Max. Okay, now you can also get it as a 3.4 liter turbo and twin turbo engine. It's a great engine. It's proven itself well. Yes, it's been under recall and that kind of thing, but it is, I got a feeling that pretty soon, now that they got that stuff worked out and ironed out, I got a feeling that the next 5-year track record for this motor, I feel, is going to be pretty dang solid. It had some major hiccups in the beginning, but I got a feeling that it is a solid motor and going to hold itself very well and do a very good job. So, and they give you both. A choice of the hybrid version or the non-hybrid version. A con. The cost of these motors and these parts on these trucks through Toyota, for whatever reason, not only the cost of the trucks are high. There's no doubt about it. They're expensive. But the cost of the parts are insane. For example, this transmission and transmission module, because of it being an iForce Max hybrid, you are looking at $30,000 for the transmission and transmission module. You are looking at over $30,000 for this engine if this engine grenades on you. And you are talking about an $85,000 truck, 90 grand if you kick in their extra incentives, but you're looking at 85 grand for this capstone right here. Okay, and there is nothing here that's really screaming at me that I'm all excited about it. Again, personal opinion. They're great trucks. They're just not, they don't price well. And the parts for them are astronomically expensive if you're going to own one outside of warranty. And one thing I do like about them a lot too is the cup holders. May sound stupid, but I like how the cup holders in these are little plastic fingers that are on springs to stabilize whatever size cup you're holding, versus a lot of them that just use like a rubber bubble that sticks out. That rubber bubble eventually wears and gets a hole in it, where these fingers hold up well. So I really do like how they do the cup holders in the Toyotas. That's been very impressive, makes me very happy. Toyota also has the best passive entry system on the trucks today. There is no buttons to touch, no nothing. Basically, if you want to get in this, all you do, if you have the fob in your pocket, see that little bar right there? If you touch, boom, it unlocks, it locks. Okay, that's how you lock it. Bam, and you're done. That's it. Boop, done, and it's locked. You don't have to push any buttons or nothing, just tap that and it locks. To unlock it, just grab the handle. When you grab the handle, it naturally unlocks. You don't have to push any buttons to lock, unlock, or like if we go to get out and I actually want to lock it, like on Tina's Colorado, I lock it, she's unlocking it because she thinks she's locked it. None of that stuff. Just tap that and walk away, done. Sweet and easy. So their passive entry system is excellent that is on here. As far as some more cons, okay, let's go around here. Let's take a look. Because we do got a few. Not a ton. Like I said, great truck, but we do got a few. The one everybody knows where I'm going. There is not a frickin' tow hook anywhere on any of these things. There is no recovery points on the front. It is the only full-size truck in existence today that does not offer recovery points on the front of it, and it has been that way now for going on 4 years, and it is a joke. Okay, it is a joke that we have no recovery points on the front. It is like beyond laughable. It is disgusting that we have these. And you have TRD off-roads and TRD pros, and you have all these off-road trims of this truck with no recovery hooks on the front of it. It is laughable. And recovery hooks are not just used to pull you out or pull somebody out when you're stuck. They are used all the time for all kinds of truck stuff. Okay, constantly, and they are not there. They are not there is disgusting. That is a huge hit. The tires, too. Now, these tires match this truck. This is a Capstone. This is a city-fied, beautiful luxury truck, an $85,000 truck. The wheels look really good, and these are done very well on these. These are 22s. However, if you notice, look at a road rash on that one already. They'll have to get somebody out here to fix that, but that is always a downside when you go with little wheel and less tire. But look at a road rash on that already on this brand new $85,000 truck. They'll paint that, they'll fix it. That's what'll happen. Do we got it on this one over here too anywhere? I'm curious. Nope, this one looks clean. But like I said, these tires match this particular truck. They did a good job there. These tires on this one, these are charging you. These are not what comes on this. This is part of Toyota Southeast Distributors putting these 265 60R20 Nitto Ridge Grapplers on here, and they're charging you $1,700 to do it. Right there, top line, $1,699. That is what they're charging you. $82,000 for this truck, and it is a 1794 version, but they're charging you $1,700 and not even giving you your stock tires. Okay, you're paying out the wazoo for these tires on here. Here's the normal tires they give you, and they're junk. I'm sorry, but they're junk tires. It doesn't matter what the truck is, they're junk tires that they're giving you for a pickup truck, especially in their off-road variants. So they suck. Toyota sucks at tires. They don't do tires good for nothing. Even here, you got a TRD Pro model right here. Gorgeous truck, and these are they put Goodyear Territories on it. Look how little look how thin that tread is. Look at how, I mean, it's a cute tire. It's cute. And yes, it's lightweight, which matters to them, and that's why they use it. But it is not, Toyota does not do good on tires on any of their vehicles, any of their trucks, their off-road stuff. The tires are a horrible decision they make. They also don't do very good on the outlets on the interior of these things. Blows my mind how many few power outlets there is inside of them. And then we also have the four-wheel drive system. In true Japanese form, Toyota still is horrible at the four-wheel drive system. If the truck, which by the way, this generation of Tundra is the first Tundra in all these years to actually offer a rear locker in a full-size truck. Okay, the last gen up to 2021 did not, you couldn't even get a rear locker. Here they give you a rear locker, but in true Toyota fashion, you have to go into 4-low to use that locker. Not only is it a pain in the butt to get it into 4-low, it's even a bigger pain in the butt to get the locker to engage, and it is a nightmare. Yet every other domestic brand will let you use your rear locker in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 4-high, 4-low, whatever you want. Toyota, no dice. They do not do that. Even on this TRD off-road 1794 edition, right here, beautiful truck. Very expensive truck. I'm not gonna lie, if I got 80 grand to spend on a truck, there's a lot of trucks I'm going with instead. Could be a Raptor, could be a Tremor, could be a Power Wagon, could be a Chevy ZR2 1500. There's a lot of trucks that I could be buying for 80 grand before I would buy this. Again, personal opinion. Now, as far as the shocks, I talk about the shocks on every truck because it is a pet peeve of mine. It's a hit or miss. Hang on, let's crawl under here. They do the shocks very well. Look at how the shocks are tight to the wheel. Nice open and exposed back there. See how they do that? That is done fantastic. They do an excellent job on that setup with how they're doing these. So we like seeing that. It's one of those kind of things for me that is a make or break deal that it bugs me and doesn't bug me, but they do it well. So I got zero complaints on that kind of stuff. And that basically kind of wraps up the little idiosyncrasies, the little details, the things like that that matter for me on the Tundra. Do I think it's a great truck? I do. I really do. And I think it's coming into its own. I think it had way more teething issues than it ever should have. Cheap plastics, cracking seats, motors going out on it, transmission problems, all the rattles, the window seals, the door seals. It had a whole mess of problems for the first basically 3 years it's been out. It has been a problem after a problem after a problem. It is getting dialed in. I think it's a good truck. I think it's done well. I think it's overpriced for what you get. And I think they still have a long way to go on some things that are upsetting. And Toyota just does not listen to its customers. Again, tow hooks. People have been asking for them since this thing first, before it even came out, even on the press vehicles. First thing people noticed, no tow hooks. They skimp out on the skid plates. They skimp out on a bunch of stuff. They make a lot of cheap cuts now that are upsetting people. And that's a con. That goes in the con category. Toyota is not what it used to be. It's Kaizen things and it's all this kind of stuff. They can throw all that out the window. It's gone. Now they're an American truck manufacturer here in America with what they do with the Tundra and the Tacoma and that kind of thing. And it's showing. Okay, so it's kind of a hit for them on there. But I do still think you do get a level of quality and reliability. Not a level of quality. Quality is I don't think the quality is what it used to be. I will say you get a level of reliability still there. However, another con of being in this industry for 2 years and reading news articles every single day and putting news articles out, Toyota is the #1 that rejects warranty. Okay, they reject warranty. Toyota and Lexus reject warranty so much more than anything I've ever seen for some of the stupidest reasons. Your steering wheel starts bubbling and coming apart on the leather, and they're like, well, you know what? You got too much oil in your hands. We can't fix you on that. Okay, it's this kind of stuff they're doing. Their Toyota warranty scares me more than any other brand warranty there is. So take it for what it's worth. There's a pros and cons on the Tundra. Like I said, nice truck. Not one I would buy myself personally. I think there's better options out there. But I understand the loyalty and the people that do and what they think of it. I think the Tacoma is a decent truck and a much better buy than I do the Tundra. The Tundra just doesn't appeal to me too much. It's got some great features, but there you go. There's my pros and cons thoughts on it. Questions, comments, put them below. Thanks for watching.